One afternoon, when everyone had left for work, he sneaked out of the house and ran into an uncompleted building where he could lodge within his uncle's estate. Mawutor, the resilient orphan. Once in the village of Peki, nestled in the Volta region of Ghana, lived a boy named Mawutor. In the embrace of his family, his mother, father, and grandmother, Mawutor faced the challenges of life. Born to parents of advanced age, his childhood unfolded in the rustic charm of the village. One fateful day, after returning from school, Mawutor discovered that his mother, Selassie, had fallen seriously ill. Rushed to the hospital, she succumbed to a relentless infection that had seized her body. Despite the doctor's efforts, Mawutor was left with only his father and grandmother. The loss was profound. Mawutor mourned the absence of the one who sang his favorite songs, prepared his cherished meals, and shared the wonders of Anansi stories. Night after night, tears were Mawutor's companion. The passing of Mama Selassie hit Efodela, Mawutor's father, even harder. She was the love of his life, a connection dating back to their primary school days. Their love story had been the talk of the town. Yet another tragedy struck again when Efodela fell ill after returning from the farm and passed away, leaving Mawutor as an orphan. Lonely and sad, Mawutor promised to make his parents proud. He continued to study hard in pain. He promised himself that he would not give up on life and himself. Grandma Ajo was getting weak due to being advanced in age. She could no longer take care of herself nor her only grandson, Mawutor. Mawutor had to stay with one of his uncles who lived in one of the big cities in Accra. It was so hard for him to part ways with his grandma, whom he loved so dearly. Mawutor's new life in the city began when the promises of his uncle turned to nightmares. He was promised that he would continue his education, but rather was turned into a houseboy in his uncle's house. He would take care of the chores in the house and receive harsh treatment from his uncle's wife. Mawutor began to feel that his dream of becoming a doctor one day may not come to pass. One hot afternoon, when his uncle returned from work, he asked Mawutor to bring his work suitcase from the room. His uncle falsely accused Mawutor for misplacing his documents. Efodela's wife asked Mawutor to be sent back to the village. She hid the document so her husband would send him back to the village. She hated him from the day her husband brought him home. Every night, Mawutor would cry himself to sleep. Remembering his mother and father, he took one bold decision to flee from the wicked hands of his uncle and his wife. One afternoon, when everyone had left for work, he sneaked out of the house and ran into an uncompleted building where he could lodge within his uncle's estate. While strolling through the streets, a good Samaritan found him and asked what he was doing there, all by himself. Mawutor began to narrate his situation to the Good Samaritan. He was so touched by Mawutor's story that he decided to help him. He took Mawutor in as his own son, enrolled him in school. Mawutor was doing so well in school. The Good Samaritan was very pleased with Mawutor's academic achievements. The Good Samaritan happens to be a teacher in one of the local schools in the neighborhood. All the teachers were very proud of Mawutor, not because he was doing well academically, but was very respectful. Yet another tragedy struck. The man who took Mawutor in died, and the wife sent him out of the house. Mawutor was roaming the streets, moving from one uncompleted building to the other. The reality of Mawutor's troubles and challenges did not stop him. Mawutor clung to his mother's advice to study hard and be a responsible person. He was always with a book studying, believing that one day the opportunity would meet him again and he will become what he wanted to be. His commitment to education attracted the attention of a caring professor. The professor had been seeing Mawutor in that uncompleted building, and each time he passed by, he saw him with a book. That caught his attention. So one day, he decided to go look for him. After hearing his story, the professor, who was an elderly man with his wife, adopted him, pledging support for his education and well-being. He had 3 lovely daughters who were all graduates and were happily married and living with their husbands. In Mawutor, he saw the son he never had. Therefore, he vowed to treat Mawutor like his own son. The professor and his wife encouraged Mawutor to take the BECE exams. He took the BECE exam and excelled, earning a scholarship to a prestigious school in his town. Years later, Mawutor, now a medical doctor, returned to his village, bringing joy to Grandma Ajo and the entire community. Invited to speak at his alma mater, he encouraged students not to surrender to life's challenges, emphasizing the importance of perseverance. The moral of his story resonated. Life may present thorns, difficulties may arise, but hope should prevail. Mawutor's journey demonstrated that with resilience, focus, and the support of others, one can overcome the toughest circumstances. As Mawutor concluded his speech, the message echoed beyond the school walls. Life's adversities may test us, but enduring hope and determination paves the way forward. Keep hope alive. Life may be sometimes hard, and you don't even know where to go, but don't give up. Keep hope alive and stay positive.